There is nothing wrong with your internet. Do not attempt to adjust your settings. We are controlling the podcast. We control the squealing and the screams. We can make your heart flutter, your eyes blur from tears, or sharpen your mind to crystal clarity. For the next hour, sit back. We are in control of what you hear. We repeat, there is nothing wrong with your settings. You are about to experience the awe and mystery known as the female mind. You are now entering the Fangirl Zone.
Welcome to episode 28 of SYFY Talk on the Fangirl Zone, a podcast where we discuss shows on the SYFY channel. I'm Steve.
And I'm Sean, Fangirl S, and tonight we'll be discussing episode 9 of Wynonna Earp. Oh, this show. I'm loving it.
Yes.
It's just been it's building, and it's just been getting better every episode. It's making me very happy. Because I had my doubts. I think we've talked about it.
Oh, yeah. And this one has not disappointed at all.
No, you just get worried when they're going to translate something from a comic book. It's like, are they going to stay true to it? What is it going to be? What is the actual director's vision? And even though I don't know anything about the comic book itself, I feel like this would be a really good translation. Like, if this was, I seen this first and then I seen the comic book, I think it would translate pretty smooth either way.
Right.
So I'm
excited.
excited.
I agree with you there.
So I'm excited. Although we don't have too many episodes left.
Nope.
So that makes me sad.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
But we got more shows coming, so.
Oh, I know. Sci-fi is unbelievable right now. I'm not even sure we're going to be able to keep up.
I know. Because we got Killjoys and Dark Matter coming in July.
And some new ones, which I posted up on fangirlzone.com. Talking about all the shows that are going to be coming out. It's exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Alrighty, let's jump into episode 9. So go ahead, Steve, take us in.
All right. Bury me with my guns on. After killing the last of the 7, Wynonna wonders what to do with her life now that she's had her revenge. A new opportunity soon arises when Doc tracks down Candace. A new opportunity soon arises when Doc tracks down Constance and needs help dealing with the Stone Witch. Meanwhile, Waverly approaches Nicole while Nedley helps Xavier blend in with the community.
There's a lot going on, as usual.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good. I didn't feel like this was any storyline that could have been kind of just tossed away. I'm just loving that it's all moving together into this big giant puzzle, and hopefully we're going to see this huge masterpiece very soon.
Yeah, I think so, and I just hope that it's not too big so that we get a season 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's always parts that can be left out, but...
Right. I mean, we can't... I'm kind of thinking that we will probably get rid of the Stone Witch this season and still have Bobo out there to deal with.
Well, Bobo's working my nerves.
Oh, I know it.
But I think without Bobo, there would be a problem.
Yeah.
But the Stone Witch, yeah, I think we can kind of get rid of her.
If they can figure out a way to do it without taking Doc out as well.
Oh, let's get into Doc right now.
Alrighty.
So, alright, where shall we start first with Doc? There was a lot happening.
Well, alright, let's kind of start with their conversation in the cabin where Wynonna kind of confides in Doc about Doll's seemingly underhanded ways just because of the psych eval that she had to go through.
That psych eval, I think even Dolls was surprised about.
He made it sound like, yeah, it was not your normal psych eval. You know, he does mention that, hey, she's going off the rail here.
Right.
Going off book.
So I'm just wondering, let me back up. The woman doing the psych eval, Why do you think she changed up the questions? Because that did take Dolls by surprise a bit.
I can just about guarantee it was on order of Dolls' boss.
Oh, you think so?
Oh,
I was
absolutely.
thinking that she had something to do with, someone involved with the people who got hurt. Because she was talking about a certain gang of people that Wynonna had run with for a while.
Right.
And that I don't know if it was a murder or what the deal was, because I forgot that fast because I didn't take notes. But I was thinking she was like somehow involved with one of those people.
That's a pretty good possibility as well.
I don't know why Doll's boss is if she's the one who's doing it, why she would be doing that. You know what I mean? I mean, he's got a revenant. He can actually show scientific proof to them, which is what she seemed to want.
Right.
So why would she want to push Wynonna and basically, nuke that whole section and get rid of the revenants, where then they'd have nothing to work with?
Well, if you really feel like this is completely an evil thing going on, then yeah, to me, you might want to just take it out in one big blow and be done with it. But of course, it depends on how much she's aware of the Earp legend.
Do you think she is aware of it?
We don't have anything solid that we can say yes or no with, because she really hasn't mentioned it in any of her conversations to Doll.
We don't have a whole lot of information at all about what's going on with them.
No, we don't. And that's almost as scary as Bobo.
That's true. Which is why I'm thinking, because we know there's some kind of mole, that might be what plays into maybe the season finale or into the new season. Which I'm just going to say the new season, because I assume there is.
I think that's fairly safe to say as well. I really think they will renew it.
Okay, so now that I've chased the squirrel all around one person, I mean, I can understand Wynonna feeling a little upset and I guess betrayed, because she hasn't ever had to deal with being questioned like that, knowing that she was supposed to be in a seat of authority.
Right.
Where she had been questioned like that, but it was when she was, somebody saying that she was crazy and all the stuff that she's seen wasn't real.
Right.
So I can get at that point why she was hurt, because Dolls didn't come in there, but at the same time, she is a grown-up.
Mm-hmm.
And she's got to be the one who is able to fight for herself. And I think that was why Dolls was like, all right, listen, just pay attention. They're going to ask questions. They're going to do A, B, and C. But he wasn't going to intervene, even though he knew this was going in a weird way.
Right.
So I think, I don't know, Wynonna was a little bit over the top, getting angry, but at the same time, she's probably still remembering everything that happened when she was younger.
Oh, exactly. And it didn't help that the lady brings up the past as well.
I want to know how this woman knows she's having sex with, nobody in particular, but...
Right.
Because that was a very odd question.
Yes, it was.
If you're doing a psych eval, why do you want to know when the last time was she had sex? Are you thinking she's, I don't know, a nympho or something, and she's just having sex with everybody and it would affect her judgment? Or do you think that she's not had sex in a really long time and that's going to affect her emotions? I mean, it just seemed like an odd question to throw in there. So, I don't know, if somebody knows and they're, a psychologist or out there, you want to let us know, fangirlzonepodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah, unless she was digging for some kind of, something similar to PSTD,
Oh, and like she's acting out?
Right.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess if you have PTSD, you act out in different ways.
Right.
She was drinking heavy.
Yeah.
But
and
I don't
because of
think
her
that's
history, I can see why the lady would kind of question her that in that line just to kind of see where her head's at.
Okay, I can see that. See, this is why we talk it out. If only everybody else can talk out their questions this way.
Exactly. The world would be such a much better place.
So, yeah, Doc and Wynonna have a little conversation, like you were saying. Interesting conversation.
Yeah, it starts to get a little heated and not the conversation, shall we say.
And things moved up to the boudoir and scene. But it's kind of funny and awkward, I guess, things that were happening. Because as things were starting to get hot and heavy, all of a sudden Doc stops and he's like, whoa. And Wynonna, is actually concerned that he might be injured still because the wound wasn't really healing on his shoulder.
Right.
And all of a sudden he's like, no, I can feel her pain. Because that's not weird.
No.
Let's talk about feeling a woman and her emotions while you're with another woman.
Yeah.
A different woman might have been real jealous, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah, I think if it wasn't the Stone Witch, Wynonna definitely would have had a case for some jealous rage on Doc, but I still think it's all the binding that has been done that is causing Doc to feel when Constance is feeling pain.
Yeah, I think he did something wrong.
Well, yeah, it's very possible. I'm sure that he didn't follow the spell exactly.
Or at all.
Yeah, or at all.
Yeah, so, I don't know. I just thought that was weird, but she was more than willing to jump up and help him find, what was going on.
Well, she had to follow him. He didn't want her to have anything to do with it, and she said...
Bollocks.
Yeah.
But she was more than willing to help, and he just...
Oh, yeah, and he refused. Yeah, he didn't want her to be involved, because if Constance is in pain, then Bobo more than likely is not too far away.
Which I'm not too sad about part of that, but...
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that, Bobo is so hot to try to get, which we find out this episode, some information from Constance. I thought this whole time he had what he needed, and she had something else kind of hanging over them.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you still felt like Constance still had a valuable piece of the puzzle that she was withholding from Bobo. We saw the two that were trying to get out,
mm-hmm.
and it looked like they would have if Wynonna wouldn't have stopped them.
Because it was a roundabout way.
Right. And is that what she hasn't told Bobo yet? We don't know.
Oh, like she's been experimenting with his guys, but not telling him exactly what was going on.
Right.
Oh, okay. So do you think that's going to come to light a little more, like as we proceed with the season? Because we're almost done.
Right. It kind of depends on if Bobo is able to track down Constance now, because I can actually see her being a lot more desperate now because of her circumstance.
Okay.
And she may very well let some of this information out to try to convince Bobo to free her from her situation.
Okay. Well, we'll tap dance around that a little bit more in a minute.
I know.
All right. So, yeah, you want to continue with Doc and Wynonna and what was happening next? Because it kind of rolls into the next part.
Right, because Constance has headed towards the county line, and with her son that she has...
pieced together?
Yeah.
With pieces of her other son?
Mm-hmm.
Again, not weird at all.
No. And didn't quite work the way she was expecting it to either.
No. Makes me wonder what he was supposed to look like, because she does, when he comes back to life after her spell, he is kind of mutilated?
Yeah. A little deformed.
Yeah. And he sees his own reflection and freaks out. And she's like, no, the skin is new. Don't worry. It'll change and it'll look like you, which makes me wonder. I mean, she did say a couple episodes back that her sons aren't human.
Right.
So are they supposed to be lizard looking or like, I don't know. It's just weird. It's like, what is a traditional demon supposed to look like?
Right. No, from what I gathered, they both looked human.
Okay.
Even though they were not human when Wyatt took care of them.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, she decides since Waverly pretty much took care of the one skull, she was going to have to just piece them together. She does the best she can, and then leaves the bones of the other one there, which I thought was weird.
Mm-hmm.
Since she was freaking out, and I would think she would have kept them with her and buried them or something.
Right.
But one of Bobo's guys find it, and, oh, hey, I'll just pick this up for you. Since you had us searching all over the frickin' triangle.
These bones.
Right. I think at that point I'd been like, you're taking these with you.
Yeah.
You made me look all over creation for this. Anyway.
So of course, Bobo uses those to his advantage.
Yes.
And basically torches them.
Now, question.
Okay.
Because when Bobo sets the bones on fire, her son that she pieced together also goes up in flames. Do you think he knew that would happen? Or that it would just be enough to hurt her?
I think he knew that was what happened would happen. Because I think he was aware that, yes, they didn't have both complete sets of bones, and that if she was able to put one together, it would be what it turned out to be, a combination of both of them, and that by destroying the unused bones would also destroy it.
Okay. See, I was thinking it was more of a happy coincidence for him. Like, oh, hey, that worked. Sweet. You know, that kind of thing.
Now, Bobo seems to be a whole lot smarter than we've been giving him credit for up to this point, that's for sure.
Yeah, actually, next episode as well, there was kind of a throwaway line that made a whole lot of sense when you think back to this season, too. All right, so Constance at this point is pretty much a blubbering mess.
Right.
Because now both sons are lost in, forever.
Right.
And, oh, hey, look it. Here comes Doc. Oh, Doc. Timing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Bobo was pretty ticked at Doc still, but, I mean, Doc had a point. He's like, you were supposed to give me something, and you didn't live up to your end of the bargain, so I'm here now, and I've done everything you wanted me to do. So I thought that was kind of, a big bluff on his part.
Right.
But it paid off.
Yes.
Because he was calling out his honor in front of his own men. So thankfully that worked for Doc, because otherwise Doc, I thought, would have been dead.
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh my gosh, what are you doing? This might not be the best thing. He's got all of his guys behind him. And you're like, oh yeah? Oh yeah? Not the time to bluff. That's all I was thinking.
Yeah.
So Bobo, says, okay, here, I fulfilled my bargain. Take her.
Mm-hmm.
Not before Wynonna showed up, though. And, of course, she had Peacemaker, and she's like, I can totally take Bobo out right now. But Doc stopped her. And,
right.
Ugh. And I understand, but I was so angry.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, just in general, there was way too many guys. There was no way that Wynonna would have been able to get all of them.
Oh, no. No.
I mean, even if Doc helped and put a bunch of them down first, and then she went back and shot them all in the head, they wouldn't have made it out of there.
No. The odds were not in their favor, to say the least. So
no. But, again, Bobo lets them leave, which makes me think other things were afoot. Because he only says it after he gets a phone call.
Right.
You're going to talk about this in the phone call. Because it makes me so mad. Seriously. Okay. So we'll back it up a few paces here. Earlier in the episode, we have Waverly hanging out at the bar, working as always, and questioning why there's a guy in here trying to buy the bar. And her aunt never really explained why she was looking to sell.
No.
I mean, they'd owned the bar forever, and it just seemed odd that all of a sudden she wanted to sell it to me. So eventually things happen, and she signs the papers, and even though Waverly's pretty upset, she explains to her that, you know, there's a caveat that everything stays the same. You can continue to work here. Nothing's going to change until they say it's okay.
Right.
Yeah, like I ever believe that anyway.
Uh-huh.
If you don't own it, really, do you honestly believe that you can make that decision forever and always? But surprisingly enough, her aunt ends up giving her a check. And she's like, you can do whatever you want. Just wait a couple weeks to cash it. Which just made me laugh.
Right.
But because of that line, I do have a question I'll get to in a little bit towards the end. Wait a few weeks to cash it. Keep that in mind.
Yes.
So, Waverly, in her confusion, decides to go see Officer Hot.
Yeah.
And it was kind of funny.
Oh, it was absolutely hysterical the way they were communicating at first, because Waverly was asking about one thing and Officer Hot was on a completely different plane than she was.
Yeah, talking in a... Actually, everything they said works pretty well for the conversation, although they weren't talking about the same thing.
Right.
So I was like, wait a minute. And you notice it right away that they're not talking about the same thing, and it's like, all right, which one's going to realize it first?
Right.
And it's funny because neither of them, it was still like neither one realized it until finally they were finished talking, and they both kind of looked at each other like, wait, what were you talking about? And I'm guessing this is something that you've gotten through Twitter, since you've been tweeting with everybody, because I've been working the late shift with this.
Right.
Waverly and Hot are now way hot.
Oh, yeah.
The shippers have struck? Is that what you're telling me here?
Oh, yeah. That as soon as Officer Hot showed up, that was the ship name that came out. So, yeah. Way Hot's been out for
I had not
months.
seen that before. Oh, I love when everybody has combo names.
Uh-huh. And these work so well together.
Yes. I love that. Now I'm going to sit here and think about what my combo name is with my husband. It's boring.
Yeah.
It'd be like John, but it's not spelled like John.
No.
Oh, I have a boring name. I'm going to have to tell him, change his name. We need a better shipper name. Anyway. Random thought.
Yeah.
This is what happens when I get 2 hours sleep. Wow. Squirrel's running for real. All right. Dolls. Let's talk about dolls for a second.
Okay.
Because we have the sheriff who's actually kind of being helpful.
Yeah.
Which
that we saw him in a previous episode take Officer's Hot report out of the trash can. So you automatically get a feel of maybe he knows a little bit more than he's letting on.
Well, as this kind of starts to happen and he's being helpful, he's telling dolls, it's funny because he's, like, oh, call me Nedley. Needley?
Yeah, Nedley.
He's like, Xavier. He's like, yeah, let's stick with dolls. But, he's like, weird things happen. I know weird things happen. And then you're here.
Yeah.
So basically, I felt like he's saying, I don't know everything, but I know things aren't right. And I know you're here to actually help.
Right.
That's what I got from that. And that he's saying, in his little roundabout way, that he will help the best he can.
Right.
Without necessarily getting involved.
Right.
So do you think...
He doesn't want to know the whole story, but...
Okay. Do you think he's one of the good guys, then?
Yes.
Okay. Because I got a little worried, because we've seen the judge a couple episodes back with the picture of the Seven and Wynonna's father.
Right. No, I believe Nedley is a good guy and is willing to help the Scooby Gang when needed.
Okay, but don't tell him anything.
Right. At least not everything.
Right.
He may want to know some things, but not everything.
And
because I don't think he could handle the total supernatural aspect of it.
Okay, I have to agree. And do we think 100% that Officer Hot is a good guy? You're pausing.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm still a little bit worried.
Completely, if it wouldn't have been for the episode with Wynonna and Jack the Ripper, and they kind of made it seem like it was possible that she could have been the bad guy, has basically convinced me that no, she is a good person.
Okay. See, I always get worried when they start with some of this, and now Waverly is deciding that she wants to do something that scares the heck out of her, which is have a relationship with Nicole.
Right.
And that always worries me that means something is going to happen, and it's not going to be something I like.
Yeah. Don't get invested in the relationships.
I feel like I shouldn't be invested in anybody. It's always worrisome.
It kind of reminds us of another show we talk about.
It reminds me of every show I talk about.
Yeah.
Relationships. It's like, don't trust the writer.
Yeah.
Pretty much how that is. But anyway. So yeah, Waverly made a move.
Yes, she did.
And kind of surprised Nicole. Yeah. It's weird calling her Nicole, too.
Uh-huh.
It's like, oh yeah, that's really your name. I'm just like, hot. So they kind of were making out in the sheriff's office.
Yeah. Not a good place to do that at.
I know. I mean, does nobody, I guess nobody really goes in, especially when they know Sheriff's at dinner over at Shorty's.
Right.
Because that's where he took Dolls.
Mm-hmm.
Which was, again, kind of funny. Because Dolls is all like, what do we do? He's like, sit here and listen. I'm going to go talk over here. And that was it. But, I mean, honestly, if you're in a small town, I guess that's the best way. I mean, if a lot of people go in there, you're going to overhear them. Go sit in a corner and listen. Although don't look like you're listening.
Right.
And, well, that is how Dolls gets some information. Not just some information, though. He is a person. And we'll get to that, too, in a minute. But we have, let's go back to Wynonna and Doc. They have the Stone Witch.
Mm-hmm.
They're questioning her. And I love that Wynonna, throws table salt at her.
Mm-hmm.
And Constance is just like, really? But she is trying to get her knife back. And that's when all of a sudden, it seems Doc remembers, oh, yeah, I got to tie you up with this silk. I felt like, yeah, this is when he binds her but doesn't do what he was supposed to. So he messed some stuff up, I think.
Right.
But it does bind her powers. I'm just wondering how it's going to affect him in the long run, since somehow she managed to connect the both of them.
Right.
Theories?
Yeah, I still think Doc is...
Safe?
No. As long as Constance is alive, yeah, Doc will be alive. But I'm still not 100% sure that they can kill her without
killing Doc,
losing Doc as well.
Mm. Well, Wynonna is brilliant.
Yes.
And figured out a way to kind of put her off all by herself without killing her.
Yeah.
Where nobody can find her. Yeah. Wow. I'm wondering if she GPS'd that just in case they have to go back and find her.
Yeah, they better.
And for a minute, I felt bad for Constance. Because she's like, no, don't leave me here. I'll do anything. I have this information. But she still doesn't tell them.
No.
If she's really trying to save herself, don't you think she should have told them? Listen, this is what Boba wants.
Mm-hmm.
And she's still holding out. Why would they believe her? At least give them something.
Yeah. More than a history lesson.
Right. Although we do get the reason that the Earps are cursed, the question is, do you think it's real?
I don't think I can trust Constance as far as I can throw her. So it would not surprise me if some of her story is a falsehood.
Although it was a really good story and makes me wonder.
Oh, yeah. And she sounded sincere about it, but...
Because she's saying that the reason the Earps were cursed was all because of Doc.
Mm-hmm.
And just makes me wonder.
Yep.
Oh, I don't know. But I guess we'll find out if they ever have to go dig Constance back out of the salt flats, where she's buried up to her neck. And Wynonna showed a little bit of compassion. She's like, darling, you can't cry. Nobody's going to be here to fix your makeup.
Yeah.
As she wipes off the running mascara. That's brilliant, though. I mean, we learned from, who is it? The one who's working with all the iron. I forgot the character already.
Oh, the...
Blacksmith.
Yeah, blacksmith.
We learned from the blacksmith about the salt.
Right.
So the fact that Waverly knew right away and then Wynonna ends up knowing, it just worked out great. And I guess they're close enough. But I wonder if they're far enough out, because obviously I have no idea geography down there.
Right.
If they're far enough away where Bobo can't get to her.
Yeah.
Because she can go across the line. We've seen that. But Bobo can't. At least not yet. That's making me wonder if Bobo's going to find a way. Dun, dun, dun. I went crazy with this episode. I'm all over the place. So obviously I'm missing something, Steve. What am I missing?
Well, there at the end.
Oh, right.
Dolls tells Wynonna that she passed the exam with flying colors and gives her badge back.
How did he do that? Did he just fake it? Like, he did it? Because he's like, you drank too many Red Bulls and you were up all night or something.
Right. Yeah, I think he just went in and changed the answers, shall we say.
Interesting. Maybe we'll find out.
Yeah.
But Dolls has a present.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, this is where I wanted to come back to.
Yeah.
Because Dolls was listening. Dolls finds a revenant who wanted to give Wynonna a message. And this goes back to the phone call Bobo got.
Right.
Because the revenant all of a sudden says, Bobo now and Shorty. I was pissed.
Yeah. You weren't the only one.
But, of course, Wynonna has to, he's like, I know I'm going to die, but it was worth it to see the look on your face. So, Wynonna sends him back to hell with Peacemaker.
Right.
But this is where my questioning is, going back to the sentence, do not cash this check for a few weeks. In my opinion, that means that the deal isn't completed for a few weeks. So once they find out who bought it, isn't there, the way they can back out of it?
I would say, yeah, there probably is a way that you can keep that from occurring. I mean, how many people have signed a contract to buy a house and then had to back out at the last minute?
Mm-hmm.
Or, put a bid on a house and then couldn't close on the deal. So yes, more than likely they haven't officially closed on the deal yet, on the property.
Well, it seemed interesting because Bobo sure as heck thought he did, and they just bust in there, take over.
Yeah, and that's where Bobo's probably a little lacking in the actual requirements of buying property, so hopefully that will work in our favor in the coming episodes.
I hope so.
Me too.
All right. I don't know how I forgot that. That was the important part.
Exactly.
Yeah, so anything else that I missed? Because I feel like I always jump around. I get excited.
I don't think so. I think we got this one covered pretty good.
All right. Loving Wynonna Earp, guys. Hoping you are too. And at this point, we only have 4 episodes left.
Right.
But I do believe we will be having a special guest from our fellow podcaster. I believe Kim from the Nerd Element wants to come on because she's finally got into the show.
All right.
After a few episodes, so we want to know if anybody else is interested. We want to know what you think about the show, what we're missing out. Maybe you guys know everything about the comic, and we don't. Send us the emails at fangirlzonepodcast@gmail.com. We want to know what we're missing. Tell me where I can find it. Should I search it up on Amazon? Don't forget to rate and review us on iTunes. Good ratings help other fans of the show find us. Brain fart. Tell your friends, and we hope, of course, you're enjoying this podcast. Don't forget to rate us on every other platform that you're finding us on as well. That's on Google Play, Podomatic, on the Fangirl Zone, because you can find our episodes on www.fangirlzone.com as well. But we want to hear from you one way or another. And I know you guys are watching. I know you're enjoying this, because we are enjoying the hell out of this show and these episodes. So, fangirlzonepodcast@gmail.com, www.fangirlzone.com. All the other contact links are on our contact page, our Facebook, our Twitter, our Google+. Our Facebook page is on there. Oh, I said that twice. And now for Steve and his myriad of podcasts. You're so many. I don't know how you remember all of them.
Yeah, it gets harder all the time.
Of course, you can find Steve and I both on Hollow 9 as well.
That's right.
That's Hollow, the number 9, INE.
Yep.
It's kind of strange, but you'll get used to it. So, Steve, tell everybody where else they can find you.
All right. You can find me over on goldenspiralmedia.com doing Witness Prophecies, a Sleepy Hollow podcast. You can find me over on Southgate Media Group doing Felix's Helixes and Orphan Black podcast. I also do the C Word and Orphan Black podcast with Terry and Corey. That is, you can also hear over on Hollow 9 now. Let's see. What else? There's so many more, it's hard to keep track of all of them.
But if you've been keeping up with us, you probably have heard many of them, so you know where to find Steve.
That's right.
All right, so for episode 28 of SYFY Talk and this episode of Wynonna Earp, I am Sean Fangirl S.
And I'm Steve.
And until next time.
Wear tighter pants